Good day once again, and yeah, welcome to my channel. If you are joining us for the first time, this is Ojibra Academy YouTube channel. So I have this question from a student asking me that I should explain how atoms combine. So it's very simple. I'm just going to give a shortcut. So and that is from something I can call chemical combination. Chemical combination. So it is very simple. So just make sure that the first thing you memorize is um you memorize as much element as you can, then you know their valencies and most especially metals and electronegative elements, you know their valencies and the charges on them. Once you know that, to combine and to name compounds will not be a problem. So what am I saying? I'm going to start with a very familiar compound that we all know, which is sodium chloride, NaCl. This sodium chloride, initially, before it forms a compound, it is sodium, Na, and chlorine, Cl. But you know, when sodium gets dissociated in its ion form, it will be Na plus, while chlorine will be Cl minus. Now, we want to have a relationship between sodium and chlorine. The most important thing we have to look at this time around is the charge on each of them, the charge on sodium, the charge on chlorine. Now, when two chemicals combine, what happens is that they will exchange valency. This charge on them, you know, this plus is plus one and this minus is also minus one. So they are going to exchange 1 1 and become Na will be 1, Cl will also be 1. And that is how sodium chloride was formed. So if we look at other compounds like calcium triisocarbonate 4, CaCO3, if we break this compound into two, it is formed from calcium and carbonate itself. So calcium is 2 plus, that is the valency, while triisocarbonate is CO3 2 minus. Calcium is Ca2 plus, while carbonate is CO3 2 minus. So they also have 2 2. They will exchange valency because they are combining. They will exchange valency because they are combining with each other. So the 2 of CO3 comes to calcium, and the 2 of calcium also goes to CO3. So when we simplify, it will be 1 1 at the end of the day. And that is why we can simply write it as CaCO3. So let's go to another compound like hydrogen trioxide. Okay, let me use calcium trioxynitrate or calcium hydroxide. Let me use calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. You know, some people don't know how to write calcium hydroxide. Some people write it as CaOH. That's very wrong. That is very, very wrong. So you can't write calcium hydroxide as CaOH. That's very wrong. Why? Why is it wrong? Because we have to look at the valencies on each of the molecules that are combining. So the calcium itself is Ca2 plus, while the hydroxide is OH minus, and we can say it is minus 1. So when they combine, like I said earlier, they are going to exchange valency. So the 1 of OH will be transferred to calcium, while the plus 2 of calcium will be transferred to OH. So I'm going to write calcium as Ca, just Ca, because it is now getting 1 from OH. Why this OH now gets 2? The 2 belongs to the OH group together. So we're going to put a bracket, write OH, close the bracket, and write 2 out. So this is the correct way of writing calcium hydroxide. So it implies that this 2 that is attached to OH was originally belongs to calcium. While the one of calcium that we don't even need to write, we can just put it as Ca belongs to OH. So the last example I'll give here is calcium nitrate. Calcium triazonitrate 5. So calcium is Ca and nitrate is NO3. So our calcium we know is 2 plus, while NO3 is NO3 minus, just minus. So that is why one needs to memorize electropositive and electronegative element. There's a series like that. You can see the series on the screen. So that series, just memorize. You wouldn't have problem with the familiar compounds that you normally come across in exams. So we can say this NO3 is also NO3 minus 1. So like we did for calcium hydroxide, the minus 1 of, or let's say the 1, this time around we're not really dealing with their charge. We're only dealing with the integer, those numbers is what we're dealing with alone. So the minus 1 goes to, or the 1 rather, goes to calcium, while the 2 of calcium goes to NO3. So we can simply write it as Ca bracket NO3 bracket close and 2. So this is the formula of calcium triazonitrate 5. So that is just simply how chemicals combine together. You can try as much as possible chemicals you have, and you're going to see. And the simplest one that we can have is H2O. You can see H2O. You know, before H2O is formed, it was H plus, and you know this plus is plus 1, and O 2 minus. Oxygen is minus, so we can write as 2 minus. So the 2 goes to hydrogen and the 1 goes to oxygen. So that is why we can write it as H. H has taken 2. So it will be H2. Oxygen took 1 from hydrogen, H2O, like that. You can try as much as possible compounds and try to, you know, from their name and the valency, the charges on them, you know how to easily combine them. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe, put on your notification, and always comment and drop questions for us. Thank you.